What hides in the mysteries of your blood? Have you ever stopped to wonder if those two simple letters on your medical records, your blood type, could contain profound insights into who you really are? CARL Jung, the pioneer of analytical psychology, taught us that the most powerful symbols are often hidden in plain sight, woven into the simplest details of our lives. What if your blood type wasn't just a medical label, but a symbolic map, a mirror reflecting the depths of your collective unconscious, your primal instincts, your behavioral patterns, and even your destiny? Imagine for a moment that your veins carry not just life-giving fluid, but the keys to understanding your deepest self. Welcome to a journey where biology meets psychology, where science and symbolism converge. Your blood, that quiet river flowing through your body, might be whispering ancient secrets about your soul. Are you ready to listen? The blood code. How Jung linked blood to the soul. Have you ever paused to wonder why you feel an unspoken bond with some people while others seem to repel you, no matter how much you try to connect? Or why certain challenges keep reappearing in your life, as if your blood itself were calling you to face them? What if the answer wasn't simply in your thoughts or upbringing, but in the ancient story written in your veins? Carl Jung, the pioneering mind behind analytical psychology, believed that our bodies and our psyches are intimately intertwined. He argued that our outer realities, even our physical characteristics, often reflect deeper symbolic truths. For Jung, the body wasn't just a biological shell, but a canvas that the soul used to express itself. Your blood, the life force that flows through every cell, is no exception. Jung saw blood as one of the most potent symbols in human history, a link to ancestry, a marker of vitality, and a metaphor for the deepest passions of the soul. Across cultures and myths, blood was revered as sacred, the essence that binds generations, the elixir that carries not just oxygen but also the whispers of your destiny. While Jung never wrote explicitly about blood types, his fascination with symbols and archetypes makes this a natural extension of his work. In Japan, the idea of ketsueki gata, that blood types reveal personality, has become a cultural phenomenon, weaving science and myth in a way that resonates with Jung's worldview. These ancient beliefs about blood types are more than superstition. They're expressions of a truth Jung knew well, that symbols are how the soul speaks. Imagine, then, that your blood type is like a secret language, a silent signature that hints at your temperament, your challenges, and your gifts. Type A, with its meticulous, ordered nature. Type B, with its fluid adaptability and creative spark. Type AB, the rare blend of opposites, bridging worlds. Type O, the primal force of the warrior spirit. These are not mere labels. They're archetypal patterns, alive in your psyche and your blood. Jung taught that the collective unconscious, the shared realm of myths, symbols, and instincts that unite us all, is the source of these archetypes. Each of us carries this collective inheritance, but how it manifests in your life is deeply personal. Your blood type might be one of the keys that unlocks which of these archetypes pulses most strongly within you. This is not about fatalism. Jung believed that knowing these patterns doesn't trap you, it frees you. When you recognize your inner architecture, you're no longer a prisoner of your instincts. You become a conscious partner in the dance of your own becoming. Think about the times in your life when you felt most alive, most in sync with yourself. Maybe it was during a moment of quiet reflection, or while charging headfirst into a challenge. Maybe it was in the calm of creating something beautiful, or in the intensity of a heated debate. Jung would say these are moments when your archetypal energy is fully engaged, when you're in harmony with the symbolic forces that shape your inner world. Your blood type doesn't define who you are, but it might reveal the natural flow of your energy. It's like discovering the riverbed that channels the waters of your soul. Knowing this can help you stop fighting the current and start navigating it with grace. Jung's idea of individuation, the lifelong journey to become your truest self, depends on understanding these patterns. When you explore the archetypes that resonate with your blood type, you're not reducing yourself to a category. You're expanding your awareness of the forces that have always been there, just beneath the surface. And it's not just about you. These archetypal energies shape how you relate to others. Have you noticed how some people's presence seems to electrify you while others leave you drained? Jung would say, this is the dance of complementary energies, the interplay of your inner patterns with those of others. Blood type compatibility, then, isn't just a curiosity. It's a clue to the deeper harmonies and tensions that animate your relationships. In the West, we often separate biology from psychology, science from soul. Jung, however, saw them as two sides of the same coin. He believed that our physical traits are not random. They're part of the symbolic language through which the psyche reveals itself. Your blood type, in this view, becomes a living metaphor, a small detail of your physical form that echoes the larger myth you're here to live. So the next time you look at your blood type on a medical form, consider it an invitation. Type A. The meticulous architects of society. What does it truly mean to have Type A blood flowing through your veins? Beyond the clinical charts and donation tables, there lies a deeper story, one of precision, responsibility, and a quiet power that shapes not just your personality, but also the way you interact with the world. In the eyes of Jung, this story belongs to the archetype of the sage, the seeker of order, of truth, of wisdom patiently built through observation. Type A individuals often possess a natural tendency towards structure. It's not just about tidying your room or organizing your files, though you likely do that with impressive thoroughness. It's about something much deeper, a need to bring order to the chaos of existence. Jung believed that this drive for order is no accident. It's an ancient instinct to create safety and meaning in a world that can feel unpredictable. Perhaps you've noticed it in the smallest details. You might feel compelled to straighten a crooked painting, to sort your thoughts before speaking, or to quietly refine a plan until it works perfectly. Where others see complexity and confusion, you see possibilities, paths waiting to be charted. This isn't just being neat. It's a reflection of your profound relationship with the archetype of the perfectionist, an energy that insists on doing things well, not because you're told to, but because it's how your soul finds peace. In the workplace, this precision becomes a gift that others quickly recognize. You're the one who catches the error in the report, who sees the flaw in the plan, who remembers the detail everyone else forgot. Jung would say that your dominant function, the part of your psyche that comes most naturally, lives in this careful, methodical attention. It's a quiet superpower that earns you trust and respect, even if you don't always ask for it. But this same drive has a shadow side. Jung always taught that every strength has its opposite. For Type A personalities, that shadow can manifest as anxiety. The fear of things slipping out of order, of not meeting the standard you set for yourself, can weigh heavily on your heart. Jung called this the introversion of the judging function, the tendency to turn your critical eye inward, often becoming your own harshest judge. If you've ever felt exhausted by the need to do things just right, know that you're not alone. This is the double-edged sword of the perfectionist archetype. The same carefulness that creates beauty can also create tension. And yet, Jung believed that acknowledging this shadow is the first step to integrating it. It's not about abandoning your standards. It's about learning to offer yourself the same patience and compassion you extend to others. Type A individuals also tend to be deeply loyal. In relationships, you're not one for superficial connections. Once you let someone in, you're there for them, through every storm and triumph. This loyalty is an expression of your ordered nature. Relationships, like everything else, deserve care, stability, and commitment. It's why you're often seen as the rock, the steady hand, the one people trust to keep things steady when life gets turbulent. However, this loyalty comes with a cost, if not balanced. You might find yourself giving so much to keep the peace that you forget to speak your own truth. Jung saw this as the shadow of the sage, wisdom that is so focused on maintaining order that it can lose touch with the wild, unpredictable currents of real life. Your journey, then, is not just about creating harmony. It's about making sure your own voice is part of that harmony. In your inner world, you likely crave depth. Small talk may feel draining. You want conversations that explore ideas, that unearth truths. Jung would recognize this as the natural expression of your introverted tendencies, a focus on the essence of things, not just their surface. You're not interested in endless chatter. You're interested in what lies beneath the words. And while you're often seen as calm on the outside, inside you're constantly refining, adjusting, perfecting. There's an endless curiosity. How can this be better? How can I understand this more fully? This isn't restlessness. It's the quiet fire of the sage, always seeking, always learning. Type A individuals often find themselves in careers that reward this precision: research, editing, management, even medicine or law. But no matter the field, it's the same archetypal energy at work, creating order from chaos, turning raw material into something beautiful and useful. Jung believed that the path to wholeness for Type A individuals lies in embracing imperfection, learning that sometimes the crooked painting can stay crooked, that there is beauty in spontaneity, in letting things unfold without always trying to control the outcome. This isn't abandoning your nature, it's expanding it, making room for the unpredictable alongside the ordered. As you mature, you might find that the anxiety that once drove you to over-prepare begins to soften. You begin to trust your instincts, to see that the systems you've built inside yourself are strong enough to hold a little chaos. Jung called this the process of individuation, the journey of becoming more fully yourself, not by rejecting your patterns, but by integrating them into a broader, more flexible whole. Your Type A blood doesn't tell you who to be. It whispers of the gifts you carry and the lessons you're here to learn. It suggests that your path is one of wisdom, of finding the balance between careful planning and open-hearted acceptance, between the desire for perfection and the truth that life is always a little messy. As we continue, we'll explore how these patterns play out in Type B, AB, and O personalities. But remember, no matter your blood type, these archetypes aren't boxes. They're mirrors. They don't limit you. They reveal you. And in that revelation, you can find the freedom to become exactly who you were meant to be. Type B, the intuitive explorers of the unknown. What secret treasures lie within those who carry Type B blood? If you're among this relatively rare group, you may be embodying what Carl Jung would have called the explorer or the rebel, the archetype of curiosity and endless possibility. Unlike the measured precision of Type A, Type B individuals seem to carry within them a natural fluidity, a knack for moving between worlds, ideas, and experiences. For Jung, this wasn't random. It was a profound archetypal expression of freedom. Type B people often feel most alive when they're discovering something new. Where others crave the security of the familiar, you're drawn to the uncharted. Do you find yourself quickly bored by routine? Do you feel most energized in the midst of change? This isn't just wanderlust. It's the voice of your soul urging you to keep moving forward. The Japanese Ketsueki-gata theory describes type B individuals as creative, passionate, and independent. These traits align perfectly with what Jung might have recognized as the explorer's restless spirit, an instinct to test boundaries and see what lies beyond. In your relationships, your honesty and authenticity shine through. You don't have patience for games or masks. You want the real story, and you're willing to show yours too. Jung would see in you a living example of the transcendent function, that part of the psyche that finds connections between opposites. You have a knack for weaving together ideas that seem unrelated, creating new insights that others might miss. In a world that often feels stuck in black and white, you live in the vivid colors in between. Professionally, this means you thrive where creativity and adaptability are valued. You're the one who sees the bigger picture, who's not afraid to pivot when a better path reveals itself. Jung would call this a sign of psychological flexibility, a willingness to grow and evolve, rather than cling to one rigid identity. And yet, as always, there's a shadow to every strength. The freedom you love can sometimes slip into restlessness. The excitement of the new can make it hard to finish what you started. Jung believed that recognizing this shadow is key, not to stop moving, but to learn when to pause, when to commit fully. In your relationships, this pattern might show up as a hesitation to be pinned down. You crave deep connection, but only if it allows you room to breathe. And that's not a flaw. It's a reflection of your truth. That love, like life itself, must be a journey of discovery, not a cage. Before we go deeper, let me share something quickly. If you're fascinated by how your blood type might reveal your inner nature, take a look at our ebook, The SIM Method. It's designed to guide you through Jung's insights and help you see how these ancient patterns shape your daily life and your destiny. The link is in the pinned comment below. Back to the journey. Jung would be particularly intrigued by your relationship with rules. Type B individuals rarely accept them blindly. For you, they're suggestions, not commandments. You understand that life is too complex to fit in a single box, and your own spirit refuses to be boxed in as well. This same independence can make you a bridge between worlds. You're able to translate, to take the rigid structures of type A thinking and infuse them with the color and possibility that others miss. You're a connector, a synthesizer, a spark of creativity in a world that too often forgets how to play. And yet, you also know the cost of living this way. Sometimes your journey can feel lonely, like you're always moving on while others are settling down. But Jung would remind you that this is not a flaw. It's a calling. Your path isn't about being like everyone else. It's about being fully yourself, the explorer, the innovator, the one who lights the way for others who have forgotten how to dream. Type B blood doesn't define you, but it does whisper about the unique energy you bring to the world. An energy that can heal the wounds of stagnation and awaken what has fallen asleep. An energy that says, there's always something new to discover, even in the familiar. Jung would have called this your individuation, your personal path to wholeness. It's not about fitting in. It's about finding the places where your natural curiosity and creativity meet your deepest truths. It's about seeing the world as an endless dance of possibilities and realizing that your steps matter, not because they're perfect, but because they're yours. So as we move forward, remember, Type B is a pattern, not a prison. It's an invitation to honor your gift for exploration and to trust that every new path you walk is bringing you closer to the person you're meant to become. Type AB, the enigmatic carriers of duality. What hidden depths lie within those who carry type AB blood? In the Jungian framework we're exploring today, if you belong to this rare blood group, just around 4% of the global population, you may resonate with what Carl Jung would recognize as the diplomat or mediator archetype. Perhaps you're the most naturally complex and multifaceted of all the blood groups. Type AB is intriguing, not just biologically, but symbolically as well. It's the only blood type that contains both A and B antigens. This biological duality beautifully mirrors Jung's concept of the coniunctio oppositorum, the merging of opposites that he saw as essential for psychological wholeness. Jung believed that all of us contain multiple facets, but for type AB individuals, this multiplicity seems almost written directly into your bloodstream. Do you sometimes feel like you embody different roles in different situations? Do you find it natural to understand multiple perspectives without immediately needing to choose sides? This isn't inconsistency. It's an archetypal expression of integration. The Japanese Ketsuekigata theory describes type AB individuals as thoughtful, enigmatic, and complex, qualities that align perfectly with Jung's understanding of the mediator archetype. If you're type AB, you probably have an uncanny ability to hold opposing ideas in your mind at the same time, what Jung might describe as a well-developed perceiving function. You can see the validity in perspectives that seem contradictory to others, and you're often able to find bridges where others see only divides. This doesn't make you indecisive. It makes you profoundly equipped to navigate complexity. Your ability to adapt to different social contexts would have fascinated Jung. While some people present a consistent face to the world in all circumstances, you might find yourself subtly adjusting depending on who you're with. Not from inauthenticity, but from an instinctive awareness of what each situation needs. This psychological flexibility reflects a natural fluidity that is uniquely type AB. Your creative problem-solving skills also resonate with what Jung called active imagination, the mind's capacity to generate novel solutions by exploring beyond rigid structures. Type AB individuals often excel at synthesizing diverse ideas, creating something entirely new out of disparate parts. Your thinking might be less linear, more intuitive, an associative dance of concepts that others might overlook. Jung would have been especially interested in your relationship with identity. Many type AB individuals report feeling difficult to categorize, never fitting neatly into the boxes that others seem to occupy comfortably. This can feel challenging, but Jung would see it as a profound gift, the ability to navigate different worlds and bring them into conversation with one another. In relationships, type AB individuals are often remarkable listeners and empaths. Jung might see this as the healthy expression of your feeling function, a deep ability to sense others' emotional states and respond with genuine care. You're likely the friend or partner who people turn to when they need someone who can truly understand multiple sides of a situation. Yet this same sensitivity can leave you feeling like an emotional sponge at times, absorbing not just your own feelings but everyone else's as well. The mediator archetype that defines the type AB pattern is about finding common ground. You're naturally drawn to resolving conflicts, healing rifts, and making sense of emotional landscapes that others find too tangled to manage. In a world that often defaults to polarization, your presence can be like a balm, quietly bringing people back into dialogue with themselves and with each other. However, Jung would remind us that every archetypal strength has its shadow. For type AB individuals, the shadow often appears as indecision or a feeling of being lost in too many perspectives. This chameleon-like adaptability, while a gift, can sometimes make it harder to know your own authentic core. Jung believed that working with these shadow aspects, rather than ignoring them, is crucial for true psychological integration. The tendency of type AB to reflect and adapt to multiple viewpoints is what Jung might call an introversion of the intuitive function, an inward-directed exploration of possibilities that can be both a strength and a challenge. When balanced, it becomes a source of rich insights and creativity. When imbalanced, it can turn into overthinking or an inability to settle on a single path. In the professional realm, type AB individuals often excel in roles that require diplomacy, cultural navigation, and deep understanding of nuance. Whether you work in mediation, education, creative collaboration, or cross-cultural work, your natural ability to hold paradox and foster connection makes you an invaluable asset. Your approach to decision-making reflects what Jung might describe as the intuitive feeling axis. You weigh not just facts, but the emotional and relational currents beneath them. While this can sometimes seem slow or ambiguous to more straightforward thinkers, it's actually a thoroughness that ensures your choices resonate deeply with who you truly are. Many type AB individuals also find that as they grow older, their natural complexity begins to feel less like a burden and more like a source of strength. Jung would see this as the natural progression of individuation, a journey toward embracing the full, multifaceted nature of your psyche, even if it doesn't fit neatly into a single label. One of the most beautiful gifts of the type AB pattern is your ability to hold paradox without rushing to resolve it. In a world that often insists on black and white answers, your comfort with ambiguity is both rare and deeply needed. Jung would remind you that your blood type doesn't dictate your destiny. It simply offers a set of archetypal patterns that might feel more natural for you to explore. The real journey lies in working consciously with these patterns, honoring them, learning from them, and also recognizing when they no longer serve you. In the end, the goal isn't to become the perfect diplomat or mediator. It's to become the most integrated version of yourself. Your type AB blood might whisper of complexity and duality, but your choices and your willingness to embrace your own contradictions are what truly shape your destiny. Now that we've explored the fascinating patterns of type AB, let's move on to the final blood type, type O, and see how its primal energy connects us all to the earliest roots of our humanity. Type O, the primordial warriors of the collective unconscious. What ancient strength pulses in the veins of those with type O blood? In our Jungian perspective, if you belong to the most common blood type in the world, approximately 45% of the global population, you might embody what Carl Jung would recognize as the warrior or hero archetype, perhaps the most instinctual, action-oriented energy of all. Type O holds a unique place both biologically and symbolically. It's considered the original human blood type, the one from which all others evolved. For Jung, this ancient lineage would have resonated powerfully. It links you to the earliest roots of our species, to the primal instincts that still live within us even in our modern lives. Do you ever find yourself stepping up instinctively when others hold back? Do you feel an almost immediate clarity in situations that paralyze others? This isn't recklessness. It's the archetypal energy of the warrior moving through you. Where others might hesitate, you're often already in motion, guided by a deep inner compass that doesn't need endless deliberation. The Japanese Ketsueki-gata theory describes type O individuals as confident, resilient, and natural leaders, qualities that echo Jung's understanding of the hero archetype. In every culture, this archetype emerges in stories of courage and decisive action, the person who meets challenges head-on and inspires others to follow. If you're type O, you probably have a remarkable ability to stay focused on your goals. Jung would see this as a well-developed judging function, an ability to assess situations quickly and act decisively. You might not always need a detailed plan because you trust your instincts to guide you, and more often than not, they do. Your ability to persevere would have fascinated Jung. Even when the path is difficult, you're more likely to push forward than retreat. This isn't about stubbornness. It's a fundamental expression of the warrior's energy, the drive to overcome obstacles and bring something tangible into the world. In relationships, Type O individuals often bring a refreshing clarity. Jung might see this as the healthy expression of your thinking-sensing axis, a straightforwardness that can be challenging in its directness, but deeply reassuring in its honesty. You're unlikely to sugarcoat your thoughts or feelings, and that transparency builds trust. The hero archetype that defines Type O is about protection and the willingness to face life's challenges with courage. You might not think of yourself as a hero in the traditional sense, but your instinct to act, especially when things are uncertain, often makes you the person others look to in difficult times. Yet Jung would remind us that every archetype carries a shadow. For Type O individuals, that shadow might appear as a tendency toward impatience or as an aggressive edge that emerges when you're feeling blocked. Jung believed that working with these shadow aspects is essential for real psychological growth. The natural action-oriented energy of Type O can sometimes be what Jung called extraversion of the sensing function, an outward physical engagement with the world. When balanced, it's an incredible source of clarity and effectiveness. But when unbalanced, it can become impulsiveness or a resistance to complexity that might overlook important subtleties. In professional settings, Type O individuals often thrive in roles that require leadership and decisiveness. Emergency response, sports, business strategy, or any situation where fast, confident action is needed. Jung would